Man, what is happening, y'all? Welcome back. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe if you know what's good for you. And if you love good things happening to you on a repeated basis, go ahead and hit the bell up top too so that can keep happening. But man, yo, this trailer though, like we knew it was gonna be serious, but knowing and experiencing are two different things. And the trailer is a mixture of some things that we've seen from the Comic-Con footage, but I like that they didn't give us the exact same trailer, but gave us something with the same information and a little more narrative, but overall not spoiling the film. But what I want to do is run through some of the things that we saw in this trailer and talk about what they may translate to come May 4th of 2018. Alright, so for starters, I think I'm going to start with Thor. So now, not too long ago, I did a video on what I believe to happen in the post-credit of Thor Ragnarok. And when I did that video, I mainly focused on Thor and Loki. And initially, I thought the ship was destroyed, and that's how all the Asgardians died. But with us now seeing the Infinity War trailer, we know that they were all slaughtered. And we know this because we see Loki stepping over their bodies right after this has happened. Now also, like I mentioned a few weeks back, where Loki made a deal with Thanos, I'm still holding to that because we see him actually hand over the Tesseract to someone. And this may or may not be Thanos specifically, but if it's not him, my bet is going on is some member of the Black Order. And so the ship that pulled up at the end of Thor Ragnarok was the Sanctuary 2, and it was substantially larger than the Asgardian ship that Thor, Loki, and everybody else was on. And because of that, it's quite possible that Thanos had used the Sanctuary 2 to take in the Asgardian ship so they can invade it within, which I think is a more controlled way to extract an Infinity Stone from a smaller ship, without making a mess at least. But with Loki making this negotiation and handing over the Tesseract to Thanos, I believe that it's quite possible that Loki made a plan with Thor just before this, saying let's do one of my plans for a change. And in his plan he had Thor open the front doorway or the front blast door of the Sanctuary 2, possibly in hopes of him dying in the process, but I really believe that's where Thor's at in this image, where he's trying to either open or close this door. And I say that mainly because the shape of this door looks a lot like the shape of the front of the Sanctuary 2. But while Thor's creating this exit for their escape, it's very likely that it's here where he gets blasted and where his body's floating into space and then he runs into the Guardians of the Galaxy. And that would really explain why nobody else is with him when he runs into the Guardians. But as far as Hulk, Heimdall, Valkyrie, like Heimdall, he's probably dead. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there. And Heimdall and Valkyrie, I'm sure we'll see them in the film at some point, at least fighting against the Black Order or some member of the Black Order when they take the ship. But I'm really not that optimistic about the sure survival of those two. But definitely the Sanctuary 2 is heading straight for Earth, and we'll see there probably that Tony Stark is still having these dreams or visions that he had back in Iron Man 3 and in Age of Ultron. And when he's having these visions, I think it's quite possible that he's getting help from Doctor Strange to either figure out what they mean or make him stop, who knows. And it's probably why we see Tony there not too long after Banner had fell through the roof. But in all likeliness, Banner falling through the roof is probably the reason that Tony's here in the first place. Because unless I'm mistaken, I don't think Tony and Doctor Strange have even met yet. And I probably will remember what they did because they really are two of the most wittiest characters. And not in an overt way, but I feel like they share some of the same dry humor. But if they are taking the whole PTSD route with Tony, it's possible after they meet after Banner falls through, that they explore the route of him having visions. But to be straightforward, I really hope none of this is a vision at all. I want it all to be real. But jumping back to Thor real quick while he's with the Guardians. So now initially when I saw this, I felt like we may get a battle between Thor and the Guardians versus Thanos, and that would take place on Xandar. But I think it's more likely that Thanos already visited Xandar, beat the crap out of the Nova Corps, and took the Power Gem, or the Power Stone. And in this film overall, I really don't think he's going to get all the stones, not in the first one. Most likely he'll get 3 or 4, the Mind Stone from Vision, and probably the Soul Stone, who we speculated to be either with Heimdall or in Wakanda. And I'll leave a link to that video because I think I speculated even about it making an exchange and finding its way to Wakanda from Heimdall. And I'll leave a link, but keep in mind I did that video like 10 months to a year ago, and a lot has changed since then, so just keep that in mind if you want to go back and check it out. But if it is confirmed to be in Wakanda, it would explain a lot of the secrecy and the high security protection that Wakanda has on its city and its people. But in this huge battle where everybody's running out to this field, I just got this feeling that this is where somebody's gonna die. Like in this huge battle, somebody's getting killed. And I know the whole entire internet is thinking that it's gonna be Captain America. And I've seen tweets of people even saying it's gonna be Iron Man. And I've even heard people say that it's gonna be Spider-Man. But if I had to pick one person in this first Infinity War to die, and I don't mean like pick to die, but I mean like try to guess who it is that's getting killed. You know what I'm trying to say. But if I had to pick, it wouldn't be any of the main characters. Maybe Cap, because he's one of those guys who's not going to stop what he's doing until he's dead. But the people that would die would more likely be a lot of supporting characters. But for those people that were saying Spider-Man would probably get killed, you know, that was a while back, like more so around when the Comic-Con footage was leaked out. And back then it made more sense because in that footage there was a scene where you had Tony Stark leaning over Spider-Man and it was like he was finna die and Spider-Man was like, I'm sorry. And that really did look like a, yeah, you finna die moment. But yeah, I really don't want him to die, especially if we're supposed to get X-Men and a lot of Fantastic Four characters and Fox characters back in the MCU. Like if the Stan Lee statements were true and Marvel's really making that happen, that would open the door to getting Doom, Galactus, Secret Wars, and I'd really like to see Secret Wars go down because that's a story that led into Black Panther actually getting his own planet. And if we get Planet Bast in the MCU, then it's a wrap. But either way, like I said, if I had to make a guess for anyone dying, it'll be one of the supporting characters, probably Shuri or a member of the Dora Milaje, because in the comics when the Black Order invaded Wakanda, that's when Shuri died. But of course Black Panther wasn't Black Panther at the time, but he is in the film, so we're not really counting on that to happen. And I'm just saying, we don't see Shuri in this shot, so. But either way, if the Russo brothers do want to kill off somebody and have it impact the audience, more than likely it will be Vision. And you definitely want to do this with the intention of bringing them back eventually, but as far as serving the purpose of the film, it'll work as a motivation for Scarlet Witch losing somebody else that she loves, again. Let me see what else. I love that we get a look at Proxima Midnight, and it's a real quick glance. Honestly, I didn't see it until I started making this video and I was chopping up and slowing down a bunch of clips. And I had my assumptions with Captain America catching the spear like right after she throws it, because it shows more, it's a little bit more time when that happens. But honestly, the first 3 or 4 times that I watched this trailer, I like blinked at that one little moment that they showed her, every time. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts as far as the trailer, or at least the ones that I could round up into words. Oh, and I do gotta say I look forward to Banner and Hulk talking to Black Widow, mainly telling her that they moved on. And I'm also glad that Thor Ragnarok gave us a talking Hulk so that we can get more of his interaction with the other characters in this film as well. But yeah, that'll do it for this one. Let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comments. And like I mentioned earlier, this is just my thoughts, speculations, just a bunch of stuff running through my mind that I want to chop it up with you guys about. And just a real random thought just thrown out there, like with Thor's in the scene here, he can also be trying to stop a thrusters on a ship as well. I was looking at that again and I thought I just might add that on there. But for real this time, that's it for this one. I got links up for other Infinity War videos. I also made a little fan-made trailer earlier, so check that out. I'll put a link up for that. But check those out, hit me up in the comments, and we'll do it again next time. Alright, later.